Eli floated through the dark, empty corridors of the abandoned asteroid outpost. His boots clanged softly against the metal floor, echoing in the silence. Dust hung in the air, and broken panels sparkled faintly under the light from his handheld scanner. He was a scavenger, but not a very experienced one. He was curious more than careful, and that curiosity often led him into trouble. Today, however, it seemed to be leading him towards something extraordinary. He had heard rumors of old alien ships hidden among the ruins. Most were destroyed in wars centuries ago, but legend said some survived, waiting for someone brave, or foolish, enough to find them. Eli had never seen anything beyond human-made ships, so the thought of discovering something alien made his heart beat faster. As he moved deeper into the outpost, he noticed a large shadow in the corner of the main hangar. It was partially covered with metal debris, and its shape was unlike anything he had seen before. The scanner beeped rapidly, indicating a massive object. Eli's eyes widened. He had found it. He stepped closer, brushing aside broken panels and pieces of metal. Underneath, he could see the sleek lines of the alien fighter. Its surface was smooth, almost liquid-like, and glimmered with a faint blue light. The ship was enormous, bigger than any fighter Eli had ever seen, and yet it looked fast and deadly. He ran his fingers over its hull, feeling a vibration beneath his touch. This is real," he whispered to himself. "An actual alien ship." Eli circled the fighter, studying it. There were no markings he could understand. The cockpit was sealed and the entry panel seemed to be inactive. He tried pressing a few buttons, tapping on the hull, even shouting in case it had some voice recognition. Nothing worked. It was dead, or at least it looked dead. But Eli's curiosity would not be satisfied so easily. He spent hours examining every inch of the ship, taking notes and sketching diagrams. He noticed strange symbols along the edges of the cockpit, and when he touched them, faint lights blinked in response. His heart jumped. Maybe the ship was not completely dead. Maybe it was waiting. He returned to his small spacecraft to fetch tools. With a set of repair devices and a lot of improvisation, he climbed back into the hangar. The alien ship seemed almost alive, humming faintly under his touch, as if sensing his presence. Eli did not understand the technology, but he had an idea. Maybe, just maybe, he could wake it up. He worked slowly, testing each system. He connected wires, pressed buttons in different combinations, and even tried small adjustments to the ship's core. Hours passed and he grew tired, but he did not give up. Something about the ship felt right, like it wanted him to succeed. Suddenly, the cockpit lights flickered. A soft hum filled the hangar, growing louder, vibrating through Eli's chest. He stepped back, eyes wide with shock. He had done it. The ship was waking up. The panels along the hull slid open, revealing strange alien instruments. Screens lit up with symbols and graphs that Eli could not understand, yet he felt a strange sense of comprehension. It was as if the ship was communicating with him, not in words, but in ideas and images. He did not know how, but he felt connected. "Whoa," he whispered. His voice shook. "You're alive. I didn't think this would happen." As the ship powered up, a soft projection appeared in the cockpit. It was a holographic map of the galaxy, showing lines and points Eli did not recognize. He reached out instinctively, and the map shifted under his touch. The ship reacted to him. It was responding to his thoughts. Eli stepped into the cockpit carefully, half afraid he would trigger something dangerous. But the ship seemed to welcome him. Controls lit up as he approached, adjusting to his hands automatically. He could feel the power beneath him, the incredible technology that had belonged to a civilization far more advanced than his own. He tried moving the ship's controls, gently at first, learning its language. The ship moved slightly, a hover just above the hangar floor. Eli laughed in disbelief. He had never piloted anything like this. Not even simulators could compare to the feeling of controlling an alien fighter. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. Eli was learning not just about the ship, but about himself. He was brave, resourceful, and perhaps a little foolish, but that foolishness had brought him here. He had never imagined that a human could awaken such a machine. Outside the hangar, the galaxy remained unaware of what had happened. Alien factions who would have considered this ship priceless would never have expected a human to find it, let alone activate it. Eli had no idea of the storm he had just started. For now, though, he only felt wonder. He touched the cockpit controls again, feeling the hum of energy flow through his fingers. The ship responded with gentle vibrations, like it was alive and aware of him. He could hear distant echoes of past battles through its memory, images of stars and ships, and he realized the fighter held secrets beyond imagination. Eli spent the rest of the day exploring the ship. He found compartments filled with advanced tools and strange energy cores. He saw devices that could repair themselves, weapons that seemed to anticipate targets, and systems that responded to thought rather than touch. Each discovery amazed him, and each moment made him more aware of how unique this opportunity was. As night fell over the asteroid outpost, Eli sat in the cockpit, staring at the stars through the ship's canopy. He felt a strange connection to the galaxy, as if it were waiting for him to take the next step. He did not yet know what that step was, but he knew his life had changed forever. Somewhere deep in the universe, distant watchers felt a ripple. Alien fleets far away noticed an anomaly in a sector long abandoned. They did not yet understand the significance, but they would soon. A human, untrained and naive, had awakened a weapon that could change everything. Eli, unaware of the consequences, smiled. "Maybe I can learn this. Maybe I can really fly you," he said softly. "We'll see." He leaned back, letting the hum of the ship surround him. For the first time, he felt truly alive. For the first time, he realized that even a naive human could hold the power to shock the galaxy. And in the dark, silent hangar, the alien fighter waited. Not as a tool, not as a weapon, but as a companion, ready to follow wherever Eli's curiosity would lead. Eli woke early, sunlight streaming through cracks in the asteroid's surface. The alien fighter hummed softly beside him, almost as if it had a life of its own. He stretched, feeling excitement and nervousness swirl together. Yesterday had been incredible. He had found the ship, awakened it, and even briefly hovered it over the hangar floor. Today, he wanted to go further. He climbed into the cockpit again, examining the controls. The ship's systems glowed, responding as if expecting him. Eli had no training, no manuals, nothing to tell him how to fly an alien fighter. Yet somehow he understood. Not fully, but in a strange, intuitive way, the ship seemed to teach him. He pressed a panel and a soft vibration ran through the hull. The ship moved slightly, rocking on its anti-gravity stabilizers. Eli laughed. "Okay, that's new," he said, gripping the controls. His hands moved on their own, reacting to the fighter. Every movement was a mix of trial, error, and instinct. Minutes became hours as Eli explored the ship's capabilities. He learned that the fighter responded not just to touch but to thought. He imagined turning left and the ship tilted. He imagined accelerating and the engines roared in response. Each success brought a thrill he had never felt before. But Eli's learning wasn't easy. Several times the ship almost lost balance. Alarms flashed, panels lit up red, and Eli had to quickly correct his mistakes. He cursed under his breath but never gave up. With every failure, he understood the alien technology a little better. By midday, he had figured out how to hover higher. He pushed the ship outside the hangar onto the rocky surface of the asteroid. Its engines glowed brighter, casting strange blue shadows. Eli held his breath. With a soft hum, the fighter lifted into the low gravity. He had never flown anything like this, and yet he was in complete control. Eli began testing maneuvers. He spiraled upward, hovered, and darted between rock formations. Each movement felt natural, almost like dancing. The alien fighter was no longer a mystery, it was a partner. Eli realized the ship wasn't just a machine. It was intelligent, learning from him as he learned from it. While Eli explored, distant sensors in the galaxy began to pick up anomalies. Alien factions had long considered the sector abandoned. Now, unknown energy readings and unusual ship activity were being reported. Analysts could not identify the source immediately. Some dismissed it as a glitch, others felt unease. Eli, oblivious to the attention, grew bolder. He tested weapon systems, discovering strange energy beams that could cut through metal and shields alike. He tried defensive systems that created energy barriers around the fighter. The ship responded instantly to his commands, seemingly reading his intentions. Eli felt a thrill, but also a strange sense of responsibility. This wasn't a game. The fighter was powerful more than any human technology. He thought about what might happen if someone dangerous found it. He had always dreamed of adventure, but now he had to be careful. As he tested the ship's capabilities, he noticed a strange pattern in the fighter's memory banks. It contained data about alien battles, fleets, and strategies. Eli could see holographic images of star systems and ships moving in formations. At first, it was confusing, but then he noticed something incredible. The ship was showing him tactics, not just numbers and positions, but ideas. Without knowing it, Eli was learning alien warfare. He was a human, untrained, yet he could see patterns the aliens themselves might miss. The fighter responded to his curiosity, giving him access to knowledge no human had ever seen. By evening, Eli was exhausted but exhilarated. He landed the fighter back in the hangar, his mind buzzing with new ideas. He had flown, fought imaginary battles, and learned more than he thought possible in a single day. The ship powered down slightly, humming softly, almost as if proud. Meanwhile, in a distant star system, alien leaders gathered. Their screens showed the anomaly in Eli's sector. They were shocked to see energy readings from a fighter they did not recognize. Messages were sent to fleets, requesting investigation. Some dismissed it as a random event, but one commander insisted it was serious. "This is not a normal human ship," she said sharply. "It is advanced technology, ancient alien. Whoever controls it is dangerous." Back on the asteroid, Eli did not yet know the danger he had attracted. He thought only of exploration and learning. That night, he reviewed what he had discovered. He studied alien symbols, practiced maneuvers, and tried simple simulations. Each attempt brought better results. He began experimenting with combinations of flight and defense. He discovered he could move faster than expected, dodge imaginary attacks, and even anticipate obstacles before seeing them. His mind and the fighter were syncing in ways he could not explain. Eli also started to understand a small part of the fighter's communications system. He tried sending signals, hoping to connect with others. The ship responded, giving him basic translations of alien languages. Even in fragments, he could tell that some civilizations considered the fighter a weapon of war, others a tool of exploration. His excitement grew. A naive human, a scavenger, was slowly mastering a ship that had belonged to an advanced alien species. Eli could feel his confidence rising, but he also felt humility. The fighter was powerful, yes, but it was also a teacher. Every day he spent with it, he learned more about the galaxy and the possibilities of human ingenuity. One evening, Eli stood outside, looking at the stars. He wondered what other humans might think if they knew what he had found. He imagined fleets of alien ships chasing him, trying to take the fighter back. He imagined warnings from human authorities, disbelief and fear. Yet he also imagined the thrill of exploration, the joy of proving that a human, even a naive one, could master something extraordinary. Eli smiled. "Maybe I can really do this," he whispered. "Maybe humans aren't as weak as they think." He did not know that alien observers were already calculating possibilities. Some fleets were preparing missions to investigate the anomaly. Some leaders argued over the ethics of letting a human have such power. Others underestimated him entirely, calling him inexperienced and foolish. They did not understand the very thing that made him dangerous, his unpredictability. Unlike trained pilots who followed strict logic, Eli acted on instinct, curiosity, and human intuition. He thought in ways aliens could not predict. His creativity, combined with the fighter's intelligence, was creating a force that could change battles without anyone realizing how. Eli continued to experiment. He discovered that the fighter could move silently, appear and disappear in asteroid fields, and even send false signals to confuse enemies. He tried these techniques with imaginary fleets, imagining complex scenarios. Each time he improved, learning not from instruction but from experience. At the end of the second day, he realized something amazing. He was not just learning to pilot a ship, he was learning a new way to think about space, strategy, and survival. The fighter had awakened more than its own systems. It had awakened human potential. As night fell, Eli rested inside the cockpit, looking at the galaxy through the transparent canopy. He felt a strange connection with the stars, a sense that humans had a place here, no matter how small or naive they seemed. He did not yet know what the aliens would do when they discovered him, but he was ready to find out. The alien fighter hummed softly, a steady heartbeat in the silence. Together, human and ship, they waited for the next day, for the next adventure. And somewhere far away, the galaxy began to stir. A human was learning to fly, and soon, no one would be able to ignore him. Eli woke to the hum of the alien fighter, now familiar and comforting. He had spent days learning its controls, understanding its systems, and exploring its hidden abilities. But today he wanted to go further. The asteroid hangar was safe, but the galaxy outside held challenges he could not ignore. He climbed into the cockpit, fingers brushing over the alien controls with ease. The fighter responded instantly, glowing softly under his touch. Eli took a deep breath and launched the ship into open space. Stars stretched around him, distant planets spinning silently. He felt free, alive, and strangely confident. Eli decided to test the fighter's combat abilities. He had no real enemies here, but he imagined hostile alien patrols, ships that might attack him if they discovered the fighter. He practiced evasive maneuvers, dodging imaginary laser blasts, spiraling through asteroid fields, and twisting the ship in ways no alien pilot would think to try. The fighter responded like an extension of his body. He imagined each movement, and the ship executed it flawlessly. He discovered weapon systems that fired energy beams, shields that deflected imaginary attacks, and stealth functions that made him invisible against the backdrop of space. Every test made him bolder. Hours passed as Eli ran simulations in real space. Then, unexpectedly, he detected something on the ship's sensors. A small alien reconnaissance drone had entered the sector. Eli froze. This was real. The fighter vibrated under his hands, sensing the presence of another intelligence. He felt excitement and fear. The drone moved cautiously, scanning for energy signatures. Eli's mind raced. He had never fought a real alien device before. He remembered the maneuvers he had practiced and decided to act instinctively. The fighter accelerated silently, weaving through asteroids, and positioned itself behind the drone. With a single touch, Eli activated a short-range energy pulse. The pulse disabled the drone without destroying it. The alien device powered down, harmless but immobile. Eli felt a thrill. He had succeeded. Without planning, without formal training, he had outsmarted an alien system. But the incident had consequences. The drone had transmitted information before shutting down. Somewhere far away, alien factions noticed unusual activity in the sector. They received reports that a previously unknown fighter had disabled one of their reconnaissance devices. Alarm spread quickly. Eli, unaware of the attention he had drawn, continued testing. He tried long-range jumps, faster-than-light maneuvers, and evasive rolls that no alien pilot could predict. The fighter responded perfectly, seemingly learning with him. Eli laughed aloud, feeling invincible. He was not just a pilot, he was a force. By evening, he spotted another small patrol. This time, he decided to test offensive maneuvers more boldly. He imagined an attack pattern, twisting and looping through space in unpredictable ways. The patrol tried to track him, but Eli's human intuition gave him an advantage. The fighter moved in ways no trained alien could anticipate, striking precise, non-lethal pulses to disable their systems temporarily. The patrol panicked and retreated, leaving Eli alone. He realized something important. Human unpredictability was a strength. Aliens relied on strategy, on logic and patterns. Eli thought differently. He acted on instinct, curiosity, and creativity. This gave him an advantage no training could replicate. As he returned to the asteroid hangar, Eli reflected on his day. He had faced real challenges, tested the fighter, and survived encounters with alien patrols. He realized that humans might be underestimated not because they were weak, but because they thought differently. His naivety, once a disadvantage, had become a strength. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, alien leaders debated the situation. Reports confirmed that a small human pilot had disabled reconnaissance devices, evaded patrols, and operated an advanced alien fighter without training. Some dismissed it as luck. Others were alarmed. "This is impossible," one commander said. "A human, controlling one of our ancient fighters. It cannot be true." But the reports were clear. Sensors, logs, and drone transmissions all confirmed a human pilot. Aliens realized that they had underestimated humans for centuries. They had assumed human technology was primitive, human instincts predictable. They had never encountered someone like Eli. Back in the asteroid hangar, Eli did not know that the galaxy was beginning to take notice. He focused on his next challenge, mastering the ship completely. He reviewed the fighter systems, experimented with new combinations of flight, stealth, and defense. He discovered that he could use asteroids to hide, manipulate energy fields to confuse sensors, and even anticipate enemy attacks based on intuition alone. Days passed in this way. Eli became faster, smarter, and more confident. He understood the fighter not as a tool but as a partner. The ship responded to his thoughts, his instincts, his decisions. Together, they became more than human and machine. They became a single force. Eli decided it was time to explore beyond the asteroid sector. He chose a nearby system known to have small alien patrols. He wanted to test the fighter further, to understand its limits. As he jumped into hyperspace, he felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He knew this journey could change everything. When he arrived, patrol ships immediately detected him. They moved quickly to intercept. Eli had seconds to react. He remembered every maneuver he had practiced. He twisted the fighter through asteroid fields, looped around moons, and used stealth fields to confuse sensors. The patrols were confused, unable to track him. Then, without warning, Eli activated the fighter's energy pulse system, disabling multiple patrol ships at once. They were not destroyed but neutralized. The patrols fled in panic. Eli's heart raced. He had done it. A human had outmaneuvered elite alien forces using instinct, creativity, and intuition. Far away, alien command centers reeled. Communications were frantic. A human controlling an alien fighter. Impossible. Yet the logs were undeniable. The human had used unconventional tactics that no alien could anticipate. They realized that this was not luck. It was strategy, but not their strategy. It was human strategy. Eli returned to the asteroid hangar, exhilarated. He knew he had crossed a line. He had proven that humans, even naive ones, could operate advanced alien technology effectively. He also knew that this would attract attention that could be dangerous. But Eli was not afraid. He had learned to trust his instincts, to rely on his ingenuity, and to respect the fighter as a partner. He had survived encounters that would have destroyed a trained alien pilot. He realized something profound. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and resilient. That unpredictability could be more powerful than any weapon. That night, Eli sat in the cockpit, looking at the stars. He thought of the patrols he had evaded, the drones he had disabled, and the alien fleets that might soon come after him. He smiled. "They don't know what humans are capable of," he whispered, "and they're about to find out." The alien fighter hummed, a soft vibration that felt like approval. Eli had tested the limits of the machine and himself. He had discovered that a human could be more than expected. He had become a force the galaxy had not anticipated, a naive human shaping the rules of engagement by acting in ways no alien could predict. Far across the galaxy, alerts continued to pour in. Reports of strange, unpredictable attacks, evasions, and disabled systems reached the councils of alien powers. Panic and curiosity spread. They had encountered many threats, but none like this. A human, untrained and seemingly naive, had harnessed a weapon they thought was beyond comprehension. Eli, meanwhile, rested, unaware of the storm he had caused. For him, the fighter was not a weapon or a tool of war. It was a partner, a teacher, and a challenge. He was learning, growing, and proving that humans could achieve greatness even without the traditions, technology, or discipline of other civilizations. The galaxy would soon discover that underestimation was a mistake. Humans could think differently. Humans could act unpredictably. And Eli, the naive human who had found a deactivated alien fighter, was living proof that creativity and courage could shock even the most advanced civilizations. Eli awoke to a strange feeling in the pit of his stomach. The alien fighter hummed beside him, its lights soft and steady, but the sensors were alert. Something was approaching, something large. The ship systems displayed numerous readings of approaching fleets. Eli's heart raced. He had faced patrols before, small ships, reconnaissance drones, but this was different. On the holographic display, he saw dozens of alien warships converging toward his sector. Elite ships, heavily armed, moved with precision. They were sent by the alien councils to recover or destroy the fighter. Eli realized he could not hide this time. He could not rely on stealth or trickery alone. He had to act, and fast. The fighter seemed to sense his resolve. Its systems glowed brighter, shields expanding slightly, engines preparing for sudden acceleration. Eli gripped the controls, thinking quickly. He did not have the experience of a trained pilot, but he had something the aliens lacked: unpredictability. The first wave of alien ships appeared on the edge of the asteroid belt. They moved in formations, expecting a human to act like a normal threat. Eli did not. He twisted the fighter in spirals, darting between rocks, weaving unpredictably. He fired pulses that temporarily disabled enemy weapons, forcing them to scramble. The aliens had never seen tactics like this. Their protocols assumed predictable reactions. A human would panic, retreat, or follow a simple pattern. Eli did none of those things. He improvised at every turn, acting with instinct, creativity, and courage. Every movement was unexpected, forcing the enemy to adapt constantly. The first wave was no longer a threat. They were disoriented, systems partially disabled. Eli laughed quietly, exhilarated by the thrill. The fighter responded perfectly, enhancing his natural instincts, helping him predict enemy movements and strike at weak points. But more ships kept coming. The alien fleets were massive, determined to reclaim the fighter. Eli realized he could not defeat them in conventional ways. He had to use strategy, not what he had learned from manuals, but what he had learned from human creativity. He drew the enemy into a dense asteroid field. The ships moved cautiously, afraid to risk collisions. Eli twisted the fighter through gaps too small for the alien vessels. Using energy pulses, he created small blasts that pushed asteroids into enemy paths. Ships collided, shields failed, and chaos erupted. Eli's heart pounded, but he felt alive. The aliens had underestimated him. They thought a naive human could not be a threat, and now their formations were crumbling. He realized something important. Human intuition, combined with courage and ingenuity, could achieve what brute force could not. The alien leaders, observing from a distant command center, were stunned. They had sent their best fleets, expecting an easy recovery. Instead, they saw a single human pilot outmaneuvering dozens of their most advanced ships. Panic spread among their ranks. "This is impossible," one commander shouted. "A human controlling a fighter, evading our fleets and attacking with precision." Eli continued to push the fighter to its limits. He discovered new abilities, energy decoys that confused sensors, stealth pulses that made him invisible for seconds at a time, and hyperspeed maneuvers through asteroid clusters. Every innovation gave him an edge. He even used enemy weapons against them. By luring ships into energy pulses he had previously tested, their own attacks disrupted formations and disabled multiple ships simultaneously. Eli's human creativity had turned the alien advantage against them. Hours passed. The battle was intense, but Eli remained calm, focused. He thought in ways the aliens could not anticipate, combining instinct with strategy, imagination with skill. Each success shocked him as much as it shocked the enemy. He was a human, and he was proving that humans could adapt, improvise, and excel in ways no alien technology could predict. Finally, the remaining alien ships retreated. They had underestimated the fighter, and more importantly, they had underestimated the human controlling it. The sector was quiet again, broken only by the soft hum of the alien ship. Eli floated among the asteroids, catching his breath, feeling a strange mixture of relief and triumph. He realized the truth. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were clever. Humans, even naive ones, could achieve greatness not by brute strength but by thinking differently. The galaxy had assumed humans were weak, but Eli had proven them wrong. As Eli returned to the asteroid hangar, he reflected on the battle. He had faced overwhelming odds, survived, and turned an alien weapon into an instrument of human ingenuity. He had not acted like anyone expected. He had acted like a human, curious, creative, and brave. News of his exploits began to spread. Alien scouts transmitted fragments of data back to their councils. Analysts studied the logs and could not explain how a single human had outmaneuvered entire fleets. Some theorized luck. Others thought he must have had help. But the truth was simple. Eli's unpredictability, his naivety, and his human creativity had made him a force to be reckoned with. For Eli, it was not about fame or recognition. It was about discovery, mastery, and the thrill of proving that humans could be more than anyone thought. He had started as a curious scavenger, naive and untrained. Now he was a symbol of human potential, a reminder that a single human could challenge centuries of alien assumptions. He sat in the cockpit, looking at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders. But for the first time, he felt that humans had a place among them, not as weaklings, not as secondary species, but as unpredictable, creative, and resilient beings. The alien fighter hummed beside him, almost in agreement. Together, human and ship, they had rewritten the rules. Eli smiled. "I guess humans are full of surprises," he said softly, "even the naive ones." Somewhere far across the galaxy, alien leaders continued to debate. They had faced fleets, weapons, and strategies they understood, but a human, untrained and naive, had outperformed them. The lesson was clear. Underestimating humans was a mistake no civilization could afford to repeat. Eli looked ahead, toward unexplored systems and distant stars. He did not know what challenges awaited, but he knew he was ready. The alien fighter was no longer just a discovery. It was a partner, a tool of ingenuity, and a symbol of human potential. He activated the ship's engines, preparing for the next journey. The stars stretched endlessly before him. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, but Eli was about to change that forever. With a deep breath, he whispered, "Let's see how far we can go." The alien fighter hummed, engines glowing brighter. Together, human and ship, they launched into the unknown, leaving behind a galaxy that would never see humanity the same way again. Eli's story, the story of a naive human discovering an alien fighter and using it in ways no one expected, would spread. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and courageous, and now the galaxy knew it.